Welcome to the video. This is the world's fastest bunch ride version 3. So this is cruising up Saturday morning, and we're cruising up. This is the road here, Norwood Parade. Again, I'm dropping through the bunch just so you can see the wave there. Just so you can see the population of this bunch, quite large bunch. Today, maybe a little bit less than last week, but still good vibes, good fun, and most importantly, a really, really good workout. So I'm on the footpath here just to let riders come past, and merging off the footpath. Again, always checking my shoulder. You don't just swing out in front of a bunch of riders. So I'm always checking your shoulder, which you can't see on this GoPro. So there's a bunch of riders behind me who sort of got caught off at the roundabout by a car, and I'm just riding far left to make room for riders to go around me. And you can see in this bunch, we've got a lot of rim brakes, got a lot of lean, slim-esque riders. This is the weight weenie culture here. Some very fast riders, some riders who are relatively a bit newer. Most people have racing experience in this bunch. I'd say probably 99% in this bunch are people who have raced their bikes in formal races, and the 1% would just be experienced bunch rides, because this is not the group you want to go to if you don't have any bunch riding experience, because it can be very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So don't come to this group unless you have some racing or extensive bunch riding experience. Otherwise, this is going to be dangerous for you and for others. We all got to start somewhere. All of us have been noobs as lightweights. So there's a bit of a light there. We're going to go through that. And always checking left and right. Just because the light's green or red or yellow doesn't mean that the traffic stops. So always look left, look right. All right. Don't be entitled and just think, well, I had the green or I had the red or whatever. Always look before you cross an intersection. Always look. All right. YouTube's full of videos of cars or trucks or bicyclists or whatever cutting a red or a green or whatever. Like always, just, you're on the road, you're paying attention. All right, on the road, pay attention, and pay attention in this video. So we're about to cruise up here, about to turn left onto Norton Summit Road, and so we're going to find a position here. We're going to jump on some riders. I can see there's gaps already forming. The pace is already lifted. So I don't want to get caught behind that broken gap there. So I've closed that gap, moved along. The pace is already lifted. The watts are on. The cadence is up. The shoulders are bent over. The hands are in the hoods. And we haven't even started yet, and we're already going. So that was going to be a good one. Today we have a bit of a headwind. We have an easterly wind. A strong easterly wind is banned for fast times. Today's time was a lot slower than last week because we're pushing into the wind. But it provides for more mental growth, because it's harder mentally to ride into a headwind, knowing the guys behind, or girls, people behind you have a bit of, can save some watts, and that's fine. But how do you grow as a cyclist if you're not having some sort of internal friction after you're pushing the watts? That's how you grow. You need to have those weekly experiences where you're really suffering, and it ain't fun. It's fun, but it's not fun, if you get what I mean. Same, but different. And so this isn't fun for me, but you make it fun because it's a challenge. And one of my things, even if I get dropped or whatever, I always keep pushing the pedals. So the pace is on already. We're sort of, some gaps formed there already. Some wheels are being dropped. So the pace is sort of on. You can see Sam there, the tall rider on the right in the navy blue, out the saddle. Sam always loves to give it gas. He just loves to put the hurt on, loves to hurt. So there's a gap there already. So I'm thinking maybe I should cross that. And I'm thinking I'll just see what these guys are going to do. Ideally, though, I should have crossed it straight away, because I had to bridge the gap later on. And that burns up more muscle glycogen, creates more hydrogen ions, so you have to surge and bridge the gap. So already I'm at a bad tactical thing of thinking the other guys are going to close the gap, but no one closed the gap. And eventually I had to close it finally. So that's fine. That's good training. So rider here, he's going to come around. He's on one of the new giant TCR discs. Tall rider, looks like 6 foot plus. He's going to move around. A lot of these riders are 6 foot, so it makes it good to draft off of. If you've got a rider who's 5 foot, they definitely have an aero advantage. So that's why cycling teams often have these taller riders as domestiques for their team leaders, like who are just a little bit, more aero. So we see here that there's a big gap already, isn't there? There's a big gap. Wow. So Sam's really opened up a Mandingo, that gap there, and that's almost like 15, 20 seconds there. There's a rider here. He's going to move in. He didn't check his shoulder. That's Robert. He just swung into the wheel a bit too sharp there. That's okay. We've all got experience here, and so we're gonna close this gap at some point. But this is where I've made a mistake of letting that gap be so open. I should have known better. I should have known that Sam on the front doesn't ride up Norton Summit easy pace. And so that was a silly mistake. I should know better. And so this is how can you learn from this? People you race with or where you ride with, you don't let a rider go up the road, get a gap if you know that person's just going to hold it on. All right. So that was just, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just looking at other riders thinking who's going to roll around. So I was just laying. And I guess what I do subconsciously is I'm trying to get as much back shot footage as possible. So now I'm going to close the gap because I'm realizing this gap's getting a bit too big, and the longer I let him stay out the front like that, it's just going to be harder to reel him back in. And I know that both these riders in front of me are riding stronger than me at the moment. They're both really training well, training smart, and they do have a higher level of fitness than me. So if I let the gap open up more, there's just no chance. So by closing this gap, I had to really up the watts, 600, 700, 800 watts, and it really cooked me. It really, not really cooked me, but it definitely gets you more hydrogen ions in your muscles. So now I'm riding along with more hydrogen ions in my muscles, and it's a lot tougher mentally. But that's okay. We're here for growth, spiritual growth on Norton Summit. But can you see that? If I close the gap as soon as it was formed, there's only 2 meter gap, then less hydrogen ions. Now the gap opened up to it was 100 meters or so, more hydrogen ions to close the gap. Okay, so by hesitating and thinking others will close the gap, then I'll lose out. So this is where bicycle racing is very, very tactical, and even experienced riders like myself can still make mistakes. If you're not paying attention or if you're not really thinking sharp. I guess I was just trying to copy the other videos I've been making and trying to have a big bunch in front of me, and you can see more personality and different types of bikes. And I'm, trying to be at the back of every group so you can sort of see more. Otherwise, it's just boring if it's just the open road and me on the front. So I guess that's how I'm riding this climb of also, tactically wanting to be there, not get dropped, but also tactically trying to give you, the viewer, some footage of as many riders as possible because it's just more exciting to watch. And so now I've only got 2 riders left and everyone's behind. This is actually, there's 3 of us, and Carl Evans is about to bridge across. So that's my mindset, is I'm always trying to have as many riders in the frame as possible. It's just more entertaining to watch. So you can see a difference in pedaling technique here. You can see Sam on the front, the taller rider, out the saddle. Cadence is looking good. He's definitely improved his cadence quite a lot, and it's matched. His performance has gone up through the roof. And you have the rider behind, Richie Port, teammate. He is spinning really well. Looks like a bit of a mountain biker background. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I get a mountain biker vibe from this kid. Black socks, loves to push himself, and riding really well. Quite a young rider as well. He's got some good form. So, and look at the cadence there. That's a very, very, very good cadence. And just look at it. That's like, for such a young rider to have that good a cadence, that's pretty cool. You didn't see that 20 years ago. Everyone was grinding and stuff. So these kids are really learning the importance of cadence and from an early age. So they just have really good pedaling. Look at the pedaling technique of this kid. I can call him a kid, not as in a condescending way, but I'd say he's still in high school, and he's already got a really good pedaling technique. So it's fantastic. So you see Sam on the front there, just driving it. His cadence is a little bit lower, but still fine, still fantastic. And he's just sort of muscling the crank over. He's got a bit more body weight to be able to sort of do that as well. But his cadence is still fine. It's more like a Valverde 2016 cadence. And the junior rider here, the Trek, is more of a Team Sky modern day era cadence. But both doing really, really well. And they both putting the hurt on me. At this point, I'm really because I know these guys are a bit fitter than me at the moment. A lot fitter than me at the moment. And so I'm delaying the inevitable. My brain's going, dude, you're going to get dropped anyway, mate. Just drop off now. It hurts too much. So they look at that gap's opened up. And they're like, no, I've got to keep fighting. So I'm at the saddle. You see the camera shaking. This is where I get the mental growth. I know at some point, just from a physiological standpoint, I'm going to get dropped by these two riders at this rate. I just know that. And the body's saying, just drop off now. Come on, man. Come on, you're going to get dropped, dude. All this pain, what are you doing it for, man? There's no money. Just drop off now. It's okay. Just say you got your chain dropped. So all these little voices on your shoulder. Now I'm in the second wheel there. Sam's on my wheel. But I'm like, I'm just going to give it everything. And that's how I ride Norton Summit. If I get dropped or not, I give it everything. I give it absolutely everything. And so, yeah, this was good. This is where we had a bit of a headwind into this part of the stretch as well. So for the same, what does that mean? So that means, let's say we're probably doing like 350, 400 watts now. That means you're just going to go a lot slower because you're riding into a wind. You're riding into friction, invisible friction in the wind. And so I'm on the front here now. Again, this is a bit of a boring part, isn't it? Because you can't really see what's going on behind me. But we have two riders behind me, and Carl Evans, Cannibal Carl Evans, is for whatever reason was started a bit behind us. He's going to catch us, and then you'll see what happens next. We won't surprise us. So at this point, what am I thinking? I'm thinking I probably should have done a bit of warm up. I got out of bed a bit late, had a bit last night, late night shenanigans, and yeah. But then that's your little excuse voices coming on. Oh, you should have done a warm up, blah 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 blah. Your late night, blah 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 blah. And then the other voice goes, dude, you're here on the road. None of that crap matters. Push it, bro. Push it. Smash it. Keep pumping. Keep pumping. Keep breathing. Stay relaxed. Keep moving forward. And then you have the brain says, this is blah, blah, blah. So that's what's going to happen. Your body wants to conserve calories. So you have that little central governor voice switch saying, just what's the point, man? Just chill out. What are you trying to prove, And so you have a conflicting of voices. It's like a schizophrenic cyclist or runner brain. And you just have to override that and just enjoy it. This is good, healthy fun, uphill. It's safe. The air quality is amazing. There's just the car drives past. There's just no reason not to push. I'm with a bunch of riders who want to push themselves. So there's expectation when you're really going for it. So it's now Sam takes the lead there, breaking the wind out the saddle. It's on a Ridley. Looks like a Ridley Helium bike, really nice lightweight rim brake bike, and you can see the efficiency of both riders. Both riders look very smooth, and there are differences in sort of cadences there, but you got a higher cadence and you got a medium high cadence in front there. At this power you can't grind, you just get dropped unless you're like a really, really, really star rider, but even then you'll go fast if you're spinning. So we're coming up to the last left hand hairpin here. So we've got riders up on the left there again, always paying attention, let them know you're coming, just so they can smooth over the left. And that can just be, what I like to do is just a bit of a cough, or I just generally cough, or even click of the gears or whatever. But generally the cough's good. It lets people know you're coming along and you can move over. Because if you talk, it can be a little bit tough, depending on how hard you're going. So at this point, I am on the limit. I'm just like, oh man, the road's starting to flatten off, and I'm on the limit. You can see the gap there. And I know now this is the point where I've got a text message on my phone, and it's the South Australian Police messaging that there's a cannibal on Norton Summit, and there he is there, Carl Evans, the cannibal. And look at that, he was on my wheel for a bit. I saw him come up in my mirror, and now I'm not even trying to hold his wheel because I know it's just going to blow me up even more. And Sam, and then the spinner, Richie Port's cousin, they go on it. They try and get Carl's wheel, and look at that, Carl's just riding him off the wheel. But look at the gap that's open right up, and so Carl blows off both those two riders, both of us, all of us. And then now, I'm still pushing. I just kept holding my watts. I didn't up it, I didn't down it, I didn't go, I've been dropped, muscle soft pedal, nah. And I can see the rider in front of me, I'm starting to get a bit of ground, but I didn't increase my watts. Why? Because I couldn't, because I'm already on the absolute limit. All right. So if you notice the rider in front of you starting to struggle a bit, you're like, I got him. And then you up the watts, what are you doing? It means you're sandbagging the whole time. So I can't up the watts any more than it is right now. I am absolutely on the limit. All right. So if you notice that, I've ridden people and then I'll pretend to suffer, and then all of a sudden they get confident, and then they'll have a go. They'll try and come past or whatever. If that's not me, I am on the limit if I'm going for it. All right. It doesn't. If I see someone fading, I can't do anything anyway because I'm already on the limit. So does that make sense? So I can see this rider in front of me. He's looking back. He's on the hurt box as well. But there's nothing I can do because I'm on the absolute limit. And this is how I recommend people ride on the absolute limit. And this junior rider in front of me, I can tell he's on the limit as well, because he's not catching Sam, but Sam's keeping equal distance, and Sam's on the limit as well. He can't even surge even more. So all three of us are giving it everything. We're giving it absolutely everything, right? In this last, and you can sort of see in the horizon there's Sam. And so yeah, this is quality training. This is quality training. You know, you can't get better than this. We've all been dropped by the cannibal, and we're all still giving it 100% because we know if we don't, someone's behind us going to catch us. You know, so there's this sort of fun high school, primary school chasey game going on there, where you're just giving it everything because you don't want to get passed by the person behind you, or you want to pass the person in front. So it's really, really cool vibe. But it's just, just maxing out the VO2 max. You know, the sugar plus the oxygen equals your power. And so at this point, you can get the marginal gains in your head, you know, just by staying relaxed, stay relaxed, and just absolutely push the pedals. Keep your cadence good, 80 to 100, you know, and just really keep your breathing relaxed. Have your mouth really open. You see Richie Port does that a lot. Mouth open, just breathing like a butterfly swimmer, and just really, really going for it. And that's how you get, you know, that's how you maintain your power as well. So there's no surge here. There's no surge of what's me, it's the last 10 seconds, let's pick it up. No. If you can pick up in the last 10 seconds, you were going easy the last few minutes, all right? There's no surge here at all. I'm just absolutely on the limit. You can see the right, it's almost equal distance there in front still. We are all on their limit. Maybe I faded a little bit, but there's no real surges. We're just all on the limit there. And it's just fantastic quality training. You know, training with highly motivated people. These riders in front, highly motivated. The guys behind me, highly motivated to beat me. You know, and that's how you become, you know, a better rider or a better pianist or whatever you're into. You surround yourself with people who push you, and you push them, and together you go further in life or further on the road or whatever you're doing. You know, that's really, really fun. And that is the line. Boom, we've just crossed that. And then so the watts drop off, we cool down, we recover, and we regroup at the top. We talk a bit of crap, we flick our carbon rims, and we fill up our water bottles, and then it goes from there. So that is the ride for the day. Thanks for watching.